in terms of increasing global temperatures. This week we had 2 days where temperatures reached plus 2 degrees, over 2 degrees, not 1.5 but 2 degrees on a single day.
There he is again, confusing 2 days' weather with climate. You cannot take weather events unless you consider them over a very long time and say they're climate. But I actually don't even accept his figures, by the way, but that's a separate argument. So he doesn't begin to understand what climate is. He really does not. But what happens now gets quite interesting.
These consecutive days globally averaged out, which is a signpost for, in terms of going forward. So is this government doing enough? Nowhere near enough. It's put the brakes on. It talks a bad talk.
But what's happened to us, though? We've gone, there's two, whatever you're saying.
Yeah.
Where I don't know where they're taking the temperature from, but irrespective of that, what has happened to us?
Thousands of stations. What's happened to us? As I said 2 seconds ago, eyes wide shut. You've just got to look at
anything.
It does mean you're not looking at what's going on around the world in terms of the climate incidents, the climate catastrophes that have happened this year, not just this year, but the year before, and consecutive from that point onwards. They're only going to get worse. I mark it now, 2024, even before we get to New Year's Eve. I'll say to you now, it will continue. There will be further catastrophes caused by climate change. That's why they've made that warning about not exceeding, heading for 2.5.
Give me, in your view, the latest catastrophe that has happened recently.
That's a lovely question, Nana. I actually admire her a great deal. I respect her. She cuts to the chase there. Give me a recent catastrophe. Give me something. Now, what the alarmists do at this stage, when they're caught in the headlights by that question, and he is they'll think of something far away. They'll think of something that we can't see. They'll think of, they think of things like the big plastic garbage patch in the Pacific, because people can't get to it. I've actually sailed through it. It doesn't exist. So he will think of something far away now that's not affecting you. But he thought of the wrong one. Watch this.
What's the latest one?
Well, I think, look, it's virtually every day there's something new, virtually every single day. And I guess the latest one will be the Antarctic ice shelf on the western side starting to melt faster than what's been seen previously. There's a massive iceberg that's just dislocated itself and is moving away the size of Greater London.
Oh dear, Jim. You do drop yourself in it. You're just wanting to spread alarm. So we've got this iceberg, the size of London, carving off from Antarctica. Antarctica's a continent, by the way. But, let's just look at this. And let's just look at the people who are there discussing this breakaway, who were there witnessing it. The scientists. They're the British Antarctica exhibition. So here's the video, Jim, and just see how you just take anything, you grasp anything, and try to give an example of climate change. Well, let's ask the scientists who were there, Jim.
A massive iceberg has broken away in Antarctica.
We had some communication from our remote instruments on the ice shelf informing us that part of the ice shelf, approximately the size of Greater London, carved off at around about 7 to 8 p.m. last night.
Glaciologists with the British Antarctic Survey say it measures about 600 square miles. It broke off from the Brunt ice shelf, and researchers say they shot this video in 2019, having noticed a crack forming for a few years at that point. They called it Chasm 1 and continued to monitor it, expecting a breakaway event in the future. The timing was a lucky break for scientists working in Antarctica.
Our station was situated on the piece of ice shelf that has broken away. So had we not moved it several years ago, we would have been in a situation now where we have a station floating off.
The good thing is that scientists say this event wasn't caused by climate change. Rather, it's just a naturally occurring process. They also say it won't dramatically affect sea levels. For once, it's an iceberg that isn't a call for concern.
This is floating ice. Icebergs and floating ice don't change sea level at all. They simply melt and fill the hole that they're already making in the water. It's the same sea level, I'm afraid.